Hello, Pennsylvania Counseling Association. Annalisa here, and this is Benji. He wishes that he could come to the conference and meet all of you in person, but since that's not possible, we're going to do the next best thing and make a video of Benji demonstrating animal-assisted therapy techniques. I'm going to help too. We're here in my office in Exton, Pennsylvania, waiting for my friend Jenn. She's going to play the part of the client today. I actually want to get the authentic interaction that occurs when someone walks in the door and Benji runs over to greet them. It's a really special moment. It's an important moment. It really breaks the ice, especially for a new client. A therapy animal works with a trained counselor, the social worker or therapist, and the interactions between the animal and the client are facilitated by the therapist. Now, the kind of interactions that you're going to see in the video today, while they are intentional, they're not planned. An important part of animal-assisted therapy is a willingness to be flexible, a willingness to be spontaneous. So animal-assisted therapy is especially useful when people are presenting with symptoms of anxiety or depression. Animal-assisted therapy can be useful for working with clients who have anxiety as well as depression, folks who are working on self-esteem, self-worth, self-compassion, any of those kind of internal worth, conversations. Animals can really be an important part of lifting all of that and helping people see themselves more authentically. Another thing that I like to do in animal-assisted therapy is work on overcoming symptoms of anxiety. So many of the grounding techniques, the mindfulness techniques, the meditations that we teach people that help them come back into the present moment, come back into their bodies, and really work to come down from an anxiety attack, those can all be incorporated into animal-assisted therapy.
So you said that you have done animal-assisted therapy before.
I did. But I went with my sponsor down to it was like a workshop for like self-esteem and stuff and forgiveness, and it was with horses. And when I got there, they asked us to go out there and there's all these horses and find a horse and kind of engage with them, and then we had to go back in and tell them how we felt doing it. And I told them I didn't want to. I stayed back. I didn't want to walk up to a horse. I was fearful. I was fearful of rejection mainly, which tells me a lot about my story. I thought it was awkward. I thought it was just, I didn't want to do it. And I found myself just staying back. And then after that, after they explained that this was kind of like how we build relationships and, with humans and stuff, and it was really interesting. It said a lot about me, the fear that I've had my whole life of building a relationship with somebody, anybody, friendships, anything. I didn't know how to do it. So when we went back out there, it was really cool, me being aware of it. I was able to kind of try to face the fear and just go up to them. And I did see they did respond. The horses did let me feed them some grass or allow me to pet them. And then we all took a group picture and I got to hold the horse and everything. It was a really good learning experience. Yeah.
And so your fear of rejection, it didn't turn out to be that way.
Exactly. It was my perception of
And so even though it wasn't that positive of an experience in the moment, you learned a lot about yourself.
It was very uncomfortable, and I learned a lot about myself, and I feel like I've grown from it, So, yeah. Somewhat familiar with the therapy. Doing it with Benji, I don't know, it was I felt just very, much more comfortable. And I don't know if that's, just where I'm at in my life today with, building my relationships and maybe, just the growth that, just from learning from that other one.
Another thing I want to say about animal-assisted therapy, don't be afraid to get up and leave the room, right, with the client and the dog. In the video today, I asked Jenn, would you like to go for a walk? And that's especially important when people are telling you, hey, I feel lethargic, I feel stuck, I just am really depressed, I don't even want to leave my house. Something to keep in mind, there is an issue around confidentiality when you offer to walk outside with a client. So that's one of the cons, and you want to have that written into your confidentiality forms, your informed consent paperwork. Let people know that you can't guarantee confidentiality because someone could walk by you and overhear what you're saying, or just see you outside walking with a dog and a therapist.
Well, how would you feel about going outside and taking a quick walk with Benji?
No,
Get
yeah.
some fresh air.
I would like that.
And sometimes as a clinician, we're sitting there thinking, my gosh, when was the last time this person got to actually go outside and just relax and get some sun on their face? That's so important for our mental health and well-being. And so we just do that right then and there. Hey, do you want to take Benji for a walk? I think he could use it, maybe you could too. And if the client is agreeable, it's really amazing the changes that can happen in just those 10 or 15 minutes. So the sun on the face, the fresh air, the movement, seeing Benji play, chase leaves, chase butterflies.
What does it say about you, do you think?
He trusts me,
Benji trusts you.
Yeah, Benji trusts me. That he'd be able to relax and, fall asleep.
So Jenn, if you were gonna own that, can you say it in an I statement?
Yeah. I trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you are trustworthy.
Yes, I am trustworthy. Yeah. He trusts me.
Benji trusts you.
Yeah, Benji trusts me. That he'd be able to relax and, fall asleep.
So Jenn, if you were gonna own that, can you say it in an I statement?
Yeah. I trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you are trustworthy.
Yes, I am trustworthy. Yeah.
There's something very soothing about sitting there and saying, okay, I'm just going to take a couple minutes to pet the dog, and naming out loud, his ears feel so soft, and I can hear him snoring a little bit, which is so sweet. And he has like a puppy smell. I can tell he got some kind of, he went to the groomer and got some kind of puppy shampoo on him, which is a unique scent. Just using all of your senses to come into the moment. If you were awake, we might be playing, and that again helps me come into the moment, come into the room, and that's all part of using the here and now process to overcome those problems that brought me to therapy. So he models self-care for us, and when we are pausing to attend to his needs, we can also talk about that. Right? What does it feel like for the client to have to pause in their session to attend to Benji's needs? Is it nice to be a nurturer, or does it feel disruptive? And those are all moments that we can draw out into the therapy.
It's pretty cool. And I was saying before too, just the petting him just gives me a sense of relaxation, just takes that anxiety away, that anxious feeling of being nervous to do stuff like this, just to talk about myself.
Right.
It's
hard to talk about ourselves.
It really is. It is. I speak at meetings. I'm in a 12-step program, and every time it never fails. It's my story. Why would somebody get nervous? It's just that fear of talking about myself, or it's that fear of talking to somebody else, or talking in front of a group of people. It's just, this is just really relaxing.
Another thing to think about when you're doing animal-assisted therapy is self-care. So Benji models beautiful self-care. You know, when he's hungry, he eats, and he's not stopping to count calories. When he is tired, he naps, like right now. When he's thirsty, he gets a drink of water. And whatever it is he's doing, he's not judging himself. He's guided by his own needs. He's in touch with his body. He's authentic.
So whenever I meet a client for like the first or second time, I like to invite them to do an activity. It's called Letter from Doggo.
Okay.
And what I'd like you to do is either here right now if you want to, or maybe when you go home and have some time to think about it, write a letter from Benji to yourself.
Okay.
And talk about what it was like to meet you.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I think Benji would say, Jenn, it was really nice to meet you. I think you have an awesome personality. You're fun. Thanks for playing with me and letting me cuddle with you and fall asleep. And thanks for my treat. Yeah, I think you can say. You can say I'm a good person for giving them the treats.
How does it feel to say that out loud?
Weird. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to say it out loud. It's hard to look at good qualities about myself, you know. Say it out loud. Felt a little bit better.
Well, one thing's certain, Benji doesn't lie.
He does.
You are an awesome